All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. I pray the Lord have peace, blessings, and mercy upon the households of the elect. This is the brother Shema One from the Great Millstone Houston Church. I want to come with a lesson real quick, going into how the Lord has always worked great miracles with a few numbers, and just thinking about some accounts that are written in the scriptures, which I'll pull two accounts, but being mindful of the times that we're in today, how just because you're in a big number, or although it may seem like there's strength in numbers, and even in the power behind the noise that comes from it, so to speak. That's not how things happened in the scriptures as far as receiving the victory. A lot of the times that the Israelites received victory was whenever the odds weren't in your favor, so to speak. That's the best way I could put it. So with that being said, I'm going to just get right into the lesson, and I pray it will be edifying to the Lord's elect. So first, I'm going to read this, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read in the NLT. Let me go to the NLT. So again, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, and I'll start at verse 1 in the NLT. It says, "For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to cry and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance." Verse 5, "A time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to turn away, a time to search and a time to quit searching, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to speak and a time to be quiet and a time to speak." Verse 8, "A time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace." And according to what the scriptures say, plain and simply put, there's a time for everything, and it gives you a balance whenever with the things that were listed. It would list one thing, then the opposite would be the complete, or it would be the negative or the opposite of it. A love and hate, all right, war and peace, things like that. But I pulled this to say you have to discern the times that we're in, and you have to use wisdom for these times that we're in now, because in the scriptures we could read about the accounts where it was time for war, right? And I'm gonna get it. Matter of fact, let me just get it now. I'm gonna go to the book of Judges. So I just wanted to get that there's a time for everything, but also how to operate in these times that we're in now, which apply to us. We're here on the earth. We're the ones that need to receive salvation. We're the ones in need of these things, man. So what the fuck is this bitch doing? So it's very important to understand that, Salakia. This bitch going around opening up people's doors. Anyway, Salakia. Judges, the book of Judges, the 7th chapter, dealing with Gideon. All right, let me go to it. Okay, Judges chapter 7, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll just get the points needed. So Judges chapter 7 in verse 2. It says, "And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people that are with thee are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, mine own hand have saved me." A matter of fact, since I started in the NLT, I'm going to just continue in the NLT. Judges 7 and 2 in the NLT, it says, "The Lord said to Gideon, you have too many warriors with you. If I let all of you fight the Midianites, the Israelites will boast to me that they saved themselves by their own strength. Therefore, tell the people, whoever is timid and afraid, whoever is timid or afraid may leave this mountain and go home." So 22,000 of them went home, leaving only 10,000 who were willing to fight. But the Lord told Gideon, there are still too many. Bring them down to the spring, and I will test them to determine who will go with you and who will not. And that's the days we live in. Many people in a hole, right? Those that are on the highways and the hedges, proclaiming the name of Yahushua in the earth, teaching in the name of Yahushua, right? The Lord ain't dealing with the numbers. The Lord is dealing with specifics. And the specifics are what is being taught, what's being followed, the instructions that Yahushua gave us in these times that we're in now, that he's going to depart and he's going to a place where we can't go, but he's going to come back and gather us. He gave us instructions. He gave us the understanding on how to, he gave us the understanding on how to operate in these last times while he's physically not here. So it's important to pay attention to detail and how to operate within serving the Lord. So again, it says, I'll start at verse 4 again. It says, "But the Lord told Gideon, there are still too many. Bring them down to the spring, and I will test them to determine who will go with you and who will not." And just something that's happening now, the thing that happened in Chicago with the Palestinians and the brothers out there from the Watchmen of Israel, that whole fiasco. Then you got other men joining that battle as if, the weapons of our warfare are carnal, but the scriptures say that they're not. So that's paying attention to detail in the times that we're in. Not getting lost in the activities going on, because within the activities, there's a time and place for every one of those activities, as I started in Ecclesiastes. But right now, it's not time for physical battle, for physical war. Because according to the scriptures in Isaiah, the Lord calls us a worm. When it comes to physical strength, we don't have it because we're not in we're not living our blessing out right now. The odds are against us when it comes to the physical strength and the power and the force and the resources. We're limited to that, but we have full access to the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's why our weapons are not carnal. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. And Lord willing, I'll get that later. But verse 5, it says, "When Gideon took his warriors down to the water, the Lord told him, divide the men into two groups. In one group, put all those who cup water in their hands and lap it with their tongues like dogs. In the other group, put all those who kneel down and drink with their mouths to the stream." Verse 6, "Only 300 of the men drank from their hands. All the others got down on their knees and drank with their mouths to the stream, in the stream." In the start, the Lord is sifting. The Lord is testing. The Lord is determining who he's going to use to get victory and who he isn't. That's the same times that we experience in these days, but the way of going about it is different. It's no longer drinking out of a stream. It could have been, okay, are these men are gonna be as wise as serpents and harmless as doves? Are they going to flee the scene and let them have it? Or are they going to get carnal and retaliate? Like, these tests are continually gonna happen. And it's a part of the sifting of who literally is in Yahushua and who's not. Because those that are in Yahushua are going to be obedient unto the instructions that were given. But let me go back to this. Verse 7, it says, the Lord told Gideon, with these 300 men, I will rescue you and give you victory over the Midianites. Send all the others home. So those that failed the test, those are the ones that the Lord is not moving to using to get the victory. He sent them home. And just applying it to these days is going to be the same thing. Not every Israelite is going to get the victory over the beast, over the image of the beast, and over the mark. But the Lord's elect, those that put on as the elect, those that follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth, those are the ones that are going to get the victory in the days that we're in. But paying close attention to detail, it's important, and it's going to seem like a small number. It's going to be a small number compared to the rest who are not going to make it. But that's whenever the Lord reveals his majesty in the miracles, and the Lord is glorified due to the odds. As I keep reading, what those 300 men did, that's a miracle, man. Gideon divided the 300 into 3 groups to have like torches in their hands and a horn. And they started blowing the horn. Gideon said, follow me, whatever I do, I'm going to just speak about it rather than read through it for time's sake. So Gideon said, watch me and do as I do, roughly paraphrasing. So they did it. And whenever Gideon blew the horn, they blew the horns, threw them torches. In the Midianites, and it was Amalekites with them, they were so far, they were deep in numbers, where it said like they're camels and they looked like sand on the seashore. So that just shows you, the odds weren't in the favor for the Israelites with Gideon, but they just stayed obedient. They made it through the tests that the Lord put out there, and look at the outcome. The Lord came through and helped them, because whenever they started blowing on the horns, the Midianites and the people with them, their allies, they started fighting against each other. Look at that, man. So just like the days we're in, all we got to do is just be obedient unto the Lord, no matter what the odds seem like. Because that shows you, whenever you move according to your own strength, you lack faith in the Lord. Because you feel like, the Lord ain't gonna come through, so I got to do this. Let's go out and buy guns. Let's go out and get bottles of pepper spray, bear spray for these Palestinians. As I saw Israelites who teach on the highways and the hedges, that's what they're doing. It's not time for that. It's not time for that. For instance, this is what it's time for. Yahushua said it. This is what we have time for. This is Matthew 24 and 14. Nope. Matthew 24. Yep. In 14 it says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So the gospel is to be preached into a witness unto all nations, not the military tactics, not if you got hands and you can fight, not your, none of that carnal stuff. It's the preaching of the gospel unto all nations and to the ends of the world. Then the end is going to come. Just being obedient and teach the gospel. That's it. Now, let me go to, let me go to 1 Samuel, another account. Whenever, in these accounts, this is whenever it was time for that physical. It was time to get down and dirty and to get active. But the times that we're in now, It's not time for that. There's a time and place for everything. Right now, it's not time for that. But the accounts that I'm getting, that's whenever it was time for these events to take place. So let me go to 1 Samuel chapter 14 in verse 6, because with Jonathan and his armor bearer, just 2 men, the odds were against them, and look how the Lord came through. The Lord allowed them to get the victory, man. You know? But let me get this account. This is 1 Samuel chapter 14. And I'll start at verse 6. It says, And Jonathan said to the young man that bare his armor, Come and let us go over to the garrison of the uncircumcised. It may be that the Lord will work for us, for there is no restraint to the Lord to save many or by few. Salaki, let me read that last part again. It says, For there is no restraint to the Lord to save by many or by few. So numbers really don't matter when it comes to the Lord. Numbers really don't matter when it comes to the Lord. Verse 7, it says, And his armor bearer said unto him, Do all that is in thine heart. Turn thee, behold, I am with thee according to thy heart. Verse 8, Then said Jonathan, Behold, we will pass over unto these men, and we will discover ourselves unto them. If they say thus unto us, Tarry until we come to you, then we will stand still in our place and will not go up unto them. But if they say thus, Come up unto us, then we will go up, for the Lord has delivered them into our hand, and this shall be a sign unto us. Let me keep reading. I'm going to read to verse 14. It says, And both of them discovered themselves unto the garrison of the Philistines. And the Philistines said, Behold, the Hebrews come forth out of the holes where they had hid themselves. And the men of the garrison answered Jonathan and his armor bearer and said, Come up to us, and we will show you a thing. And Jonathan said unto his armor bearer, Come up after me, for the Lord has delivered them into the hand of Israel. And Jonathan had faith in that. Jonathan had faith due to how he said, this is going to be the sign if the Lord is going to deliver them into our hands. So that was the sign, and he went with it. Verse 13, it says, And Jonathan climbed up upon his hands and upon his feet, and his armor bearer after him. And they fell before Jonathan and his armor bearer, and his armor bearer slew after him. Verse 14, And that first slaughter which Jonathan and his armor bearer made was about 20 men within, as it were an half acre of land which a yoke of oxen might plow. So within the little amount of people, the few number of people, 2 men took 20, and it was a big ass field, like it said, about an acre, half an acre. Right. So that's a lot went down with just 2 men, man. So the numbers don't matter. And I brought that out because a lot of people are going to cleave to what looks good, are going to cleave to what looks sturdy and what looks firm, which is all carnal shit. It's all carnal. So just because you got men gathering by tens of thousands and they deep, they got numbers. Yet victory isn't in the numbers of men. You got 2 men in this scripture that I just read that were able to get the victory and overcome. So don't let this stuff that you see going on in Chicago and all the hype from it have you in the mindset of, you need to be a part of that. Because although it may look like something is going on, ain't shit happening if you're not keeping the order of the Lord, man. All things must be done decently and in order. What's going on? That shit is not done decently and in order. That's not a follower of Yahushua. Yahushua gave us the instructions on how to operate, man, whenever it seems like the odds are against you. You ain't got to retaliate with the physical. No, just continue to pray to the Lord, man. Keep your faith in the Lord. Then you're going to see greater works rather than what you just knock a nigga out or 2 or so say defend yourself. That's not the true defending whenever you got to defend yourself. Whenever the Lord is your defense, nothing can come against you, man. Nothing can come against you. But I just wanted to bring that out because some things I see, you got a lot of hype coming from the number of men coming out with that rah, hoorah shit, man. You know, that's not according to the ways of the scriptures. And like I said, again, these accounts, that's whenever it was time to get physical. But an account where it wasn't time to get physical, let me read the book of Daniel, the 3rd chapter. Let me go to it. Daniel chapter 3, and I'm going to start. Matter of fact, I'll read 13 through 17. Daniel 3, 13 through 17, it says, I'll start at 12. I said, Daniel 3 and 12, it says, there are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, Salakia, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Now, this makes me think about the times that we're coming into. Like all of the little war and fighting shit going on now, that's cute shit. But whenever it comes down to standing up for Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and not folding your ways, and not changing up, all that mighty spirit shit, whenever it comes down to moments like this, and specifically thinking about the hour of temptation, all of that war ready shit is out the fucking picture, man. And excuse my language, because it looks good right now. That shit may seem like it looks good, but that's light, man. The Lord is gonna try everybody. Not no motherfucking Palestinians. Not no damn the shit going, not them. The Lord, man. A time of testing like never before. The days are coming where it ain't gonna be no, man, we gotta show our own strength. No, you gonna want the Lord to show his strength on your behalf. So let me keep reading. In verse 16, it says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. Who did they give all the strength, all the power, and all the glory to? Themselves? Did they put up a fight? Or did they just continue to put their faith in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai? The same thing that needs to apply to the days that we're in now, and especially the days that are coming. Verse 18. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. And that's the example to follow after, man. Regardless, you in the hands of the Lord, man. And it takes a strong mind to apply that. It takes somebody in the spirit to apply that. If you are carnal and if you entertain carnality, applying this, that's not possible, man. Because they moved in the spirit. They moved in the spirit. And if you keep reading, you see what that led to. That led to them getting the victory through their faith, fear, and trust in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, in their God, who they worship, not into their own hands. They didn't put up a damn fight. They just put their faith in the Lord. But yeah, man, now let me start winding down. Let me go to 2 Corinthians 10, and I'm going to read that in the NLT. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, and I'm going to start at verse 3. 1 second. Second Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 3 in the NLT, it says, we are human, but we don't wage war as humans do. Right? We are human, but we don't wage war as humans do. Everybody, the situation in Chicago, you couldn't tell that was men of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. They looked like what every other human would do. There was no separation. That shit looked bad. It looked bad, man. It says, verse 4, we use God's mighty weapons, not worldly weapons, to knock down the strongholds of human reasoning and to destroy false arguments. Point in case, we use God's mighty weapons, not worldly weapons. Now, what is that? Shit, the mightiest weapon is the spirit of prophecy. Just prophesy. Like it said, be witness to all nations. Just teach the kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. That's the mighty weapon that we got now. You know? Mingled with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the Ruach HaKodesh. Man, come on, man. That's the difference. We use God's mighty weapons, not worldly weapons, to knock down the strongholds of human reasoning and to destroy false arguments. So whatever the argument was or whatever, however that happened, don't use the damn worldly weapons. Niggas strapping up. Niggas building up a arsenal, so-called. You know, their weaponry. When it's like, bro, the scriptures is the weapons that we use, not physical stuff. Verse 5, it says, we destroy every proud obstacle that keeps people from knowing the Most High. We capture their rebellious thoughts and teach them to obey Hamashiach. And that's it. Just like Yahweh Shah gave us the instruction in Matthew 24 and 14, that's what needs to be applied. Not getting ready to have a physical battle, man. You know, nothing is going on. Nothing is going on like that. That's not the big deal, but it can lead to things. It's a part of the sifting, you know, but using that as a token just to see like, man, the Spirit of the Lord wouldn't move like that in that situation, especially for the times that we're in now. That's why I said the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, man. Let me go here to Sirach 2, and I'm going to read this in the GNT. Sirach 2 and 1, it says, my child, if you are going to serve the Lord, be prepared for times when you will be put to the test. And these times are coming, and you just saw it happen now in Chicago. That was a time of being put to the test to see how you gonna move. Just like in the time of Gideon, they got put to the test, and not every man made it. So the same thing today. Sirach 2 and 2 in the GNT. Be sincere and determined. Keep calm when trouble comes. Calm. Keep calm. Not rage and seeking vengeance as if it's ours. Have a calm spirit. Be calm. That word calm, just looking it up, it says not showing or feeling nervousness, anger, or other strong emotions. Right? Because look at the reaction. Anger and rage, sense of nervousness, which you don't even think right whenever you're nervous, man. You just act off an impulse. And 9 times out of 10, That wasn't the right display of emotion, right? How you reacted to that. So let me go back and keep reading verse 2. Be sincere and determined. Keep calm when trouble comes. Stay in the Lord, never abandon him, and you will be prosperous at the end of your days. And how do you stay with the Lord and never abandon him? Cleave unto the words, cleave unto the instructions. What was being taught, what is being taught, cleave unto that. Move in the spirit and not in the flesh. Because whenever that happens, everything that has been taught has been thrown out the door whenever you react carnal, man. You know, this thing is not about any carnal or physical strength, because the days that are approaching, the only way out is following the Lord wheresoever he goes, applying the scriptures to our situations, you know, having faith in the Lord, man, not doubting him. Although it seems like the chances are against us and the odds aren't in our favor, that does not matter. Stay with the Lord, never abandon him, and you will be prosperous at the end of your days. That's what it takes. Accept whatever happens to you. Even if you suffer humiliation, be patient. So like them guys think, oh man, hell nah, if we don't do nothing, that's weak. We men of the Lord. No, there's a point of time of humiliation that's necessary. Accept whatever happens to you. Accept it. Fuck it, now let's just keep moving in the spirit. Rather than, hell nah, we go gather up the troops. We go gather up the camps and we go show them niggas how we get down. That's carnal. Verse 5, it says, gold is tested by fire, and human character is tested in the furnace of humiliation. So showing you the human character just got tested. Human character just got tested, and that doesn't look like men who were refined in the fire, man. That don't look like gold being taken out of the fire. That looks like something that jumped out of the fire and is just moving with emotions. Thinking that you being refined like gold. That's bull. Quick definition, man, of character. It says mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. Integrity, backbone, temper, self-control, man. Those are the key things that need to be applied into the days that we're in. Because that shit is just gonna continue to get worse until the elect get the victory. Pretty much. It's gonna continue to get worse until Yahweh Shai returns back and them crowns are placed on his head. And the elect are gonna get the victory through Yahweh Shai's help and through his saving. Not us saving ourselves. Matter of fact, I'll read one last scripture and I'll close it. Because people think they need to get ready to do shit. Like, no, just continue to build fear and faith of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. A healthy fear towards the Lord. Healthy faith towards the Lord, man. But this is Acts 1 in verse 6. It says, let me see. I'll just stay in the I'll stay in the NLT. It says, so when the apostles were with Yahweh Shai, they kept asking him, Lord, has the time come for you to free Israel and restore the kingdom? That's who's gonna be doing the freeing and the restoration. Yahweh Shai. And we already got a taste of being freed, man. Spiritually. So why put up a carnal fight whenever we already are on a higher level, man, when it comes to being freed spiritually, no longer having that spiritual block and them stumbling blocks in front of us, blocking us from the truth. That's removed through what Yahweh Shai already did. So why combat something spiritual going on with carnal shit? It makes no sense. But I went in there. I pray it was edifying to the Lord's elect. Again, I want to give our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the teaching will. Shalom.